Hello, this is Dave Coy. I'm the mechanic at Suburban Express, Illini Shuttle, Allerton Charter Coach. This is November 28th, 27th, 2017. This is bus 1501, and I'm giving this video to explain what parts we need changed out when we have our engine replaced. So the first thing that we need replaced are all the exhaust pipes and clamps from the turbocharger all the way back. So from the turbocharger, the muffler, the clamps, the tailpipe, and the other pipes. So that's the first thing. The next thing we need are all the silicone hoses. So that would be these to the cooler, to the air cooler. We need those changed, and all the antifreeze lines to the water pump over here and this side of the engine. You'll see there are all kinds of smaller silicone hoses that we need changed. And also on the radiator, there's some on the radiator as well, all those changed. So all the hoses and clamps, brand new clamps with all of those as well. Also these antifreeze cooler lines that go to the coolant filter. Down here there's two lines going to the coolant filter. Need those replaced. Also the fan clutch on this bus only works on high, and it's a strange style. So we need the fan clutch replaced. And we need it to work correctly, which is low speed and high speed. And we also need pivot bushings on the fan clutch assembly. If you look down below, there's bushings for the fan clutch assembly right here, and there's also one in the front. Let's see if I can get my light back there. It's in the front pivot down there. I don't know if you can see it from here, but we also need that pivot in the front replaced. It's what the fan clutch assembly kind of mounts to. And then we also need new alternators over here. So these alternators squeal, so they need to be changed. You can talk to Dennis about that. And we also need a new power steering pump right here. It leaks, so we need a new power steering pump. We also need a new air compressor, and also lines going to the air compressor. So if you go on this side here, you'll see there are braided lines that go from the air compressor all the way to the air dryer. So there's one large one and two smaller ones. We need those lines replaced. And I was told that we get a new air compressor with the engine. So, but if not, we need a new air compressor and a new starter. So those three lines that go to the air compressor, and a new air compressor, new starter, motor, which is also over here, the starter. And we also need new fuel lines. Well, while I'm over here, we also need new harnesses. There's harness that starts at the battery box here and goes to the engine. Need that harness, and the engine harness and the accessory harness. So all the electrical back in the engine compartment here needs to be replaced. Anything that touches the engine. And so we need all those electrical harnesses replaced. And the last thing that we need replaced is over here. This is kind of important because these lines are difficult to get to with the engine in there. And if you look, there is a fuel cooler. It's a small little radiator that has two lines going to it. There's one on the top of this little radiator, and there's one on the bottom. And they go to the fuel tank in the front. One line goes all the way to the front, and the other line goes to the front of the engine. But those always fail, so we need that taken care of while the engine is out. So we're going to put all the parts in the bus. I think there's a few that haven't arrived yet, but Dennis will give you a list of all the parts that we need for this new engine. And those are the things that we need replaced with the engine out, because it's much easier to do then. So anyway, this concludes this video for 1501.